Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. On here we're just going to be talking about football podcasts, all the latest transfers, all the latest games, the tables, how players are doing in their new clubs. We usually have 3 of us here, but unfortunately one of us couldn't make it, so we'll include him in future episodes. So yeah, we're just going to be talking about all the latest things that have happened in football. Hi guys, our first talking point is going to be Barcelona v Atletico Madrid. 4-2 to Barcelona, a huge 3 points for Barca as it puts them into the top 4, getting ahead of Atletico. It was a good first half with Atletico scoring in the 7th minute, Jordi Alba with a very nice goal in the 10th minute, and then Xavi in the 23rd minute with a goal to put them 2-1 up. Going into half time, and then coming into the half, it was Barca who were still on top. Dani Alves and Araujo scoring the goals. Araujo with a volley at the near post and Dani Alves with a brilliant volley. Atletico did pull one back, but it was a bit too late and the game ended 4-2. Dani Alves also got a red card after his goal and assist, so it was a bit of a mental game for him. Then that's all about the game. Now Barca's transfer rumours. They've signed Aubameyang, Ferran Torres and Aubameyang. Reece, what do you think about that?
Right, I think they've done good business. I think they could have done a bit better though. I think they need to sign maybe a centre half, because I think Piqué and that, they're getting a bit older.
Well, let me stop you there. Piqué has had on SofaScore a +7 every game this season. He's been excellent.
I know, but he's getting a bit older now.
He's talking about retirement.
Yeah, so we need to get. I think they need to get a younger, like Araujo and that. They're showing okay potential, but I think they should have got like a centre defensive. Yeah, maybe a delete, but somebody that's a bit younger, has got a bit of experience.
I think it's good because they got Aubameyang on a free and Adama on a free, and they've got them on low wages, so that's always good for them.
I generally think that Aubameyang wasn't really helping anything to do with Arsenal, so I don't know how he will turn out.
It might be good at Barca. It's not a risky transfer because he's on a 16-month loan, a 18-month loan, and Adama's on a 6-month loan.
But can I say something here? I don't know, you see Dembele was asking for 500k wages, that's disgraceful.
He was asking for something mental like that.
He's nowhere near Messi's potential.
Yeah, he's nowhere near Mbappe either.
Couldn't even do keeper uppies when he joined.
Adama had a very good debut. He got an assist and he was making some good runs. He was very promising. Ferran Torres, he was alright. He had a couple good chances in the first half.
I think Man City should have kept him for the rotation. Right wing, they've only got Mahrez and that, so injuries. But
yeah, I think Barca have got a really good potential. I think Barca have got a guarantee with likes of Xavi, I think our best player, Araujo, Ferran Torres, De Jong, all the players, Mingueza. They've got Inaki Peña. They've got loads of good players, Ansu Fati, Pedri.
I also think when they're 4th, a game in hand, do their best, and they are losing to Valencia currently 1-0 right now. I just think that's good for Barca, because if they do win their game in hand, I think Xavi's done a very good job in that role.
We're also talking about a Barca late title charge. If Real lose their game, they're on bad form right now. Barca are in good form.
Against Granada though.
Yeah. If they lose that, Barca are in a pole position. But they're still 12 points behind. But I think Xavi has the possibility to do it. That's all the Barca news. That's been really good. So the table, the top 6, Real Madrid are 1st, Sevilla 2nd, Real Betis 3rd, Barca 4th, Atletico 5th, and Real Sociedad 6th.
Looks good with Barca in that game in hand. They could potentially top that 3rd position. That'd be really good for them. Xavi's done well in the role, and I think he can keep going forward and be consistent with his results.
Yeah, he's way better than Coleman, that's all I can say. That's what I can say for sure. Right, we're going to move on to our next point now.
Right, we want to go on to the second point today. It was on Friday, and it was a big game. It was Middlesbrough versus Manchester United. So, what I thought about it is I think it was a great goal by Jadon Sancho. Well worked, but Ralph Rangnick in the job, do you think he needs to go?
Yeah.
I think he needs to go, bud.
Pochettino rumours floating around. I've got a theory here. Ronaldo makes the players around him worse because I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's a brilliant player.
Not a team player.
They try to feed it into him, and that doesn't work out. When Ronaldo's not there, they play as a team. They pass to each other equally, but they just try to feed it to Ronaldo.
Do you think Middlesbrough goal or the top headlines handball?
Aye,
it was a definite handball,
handball.
but I don't think it was deliberate.
Yeah.
And Matt Crooks, it's a great finish anyway. He slots it in, great ball. Well, he worked and just in the net.
Bamba come back from cancer.
And he scored his penalty as well. That was
scoring a pen.
brilliant. Him scoring his penalty. So now we're going to go on to Kidderminster Harriers versus West Ham. So Kidderminster Harriers went on early on with a penny goal while we're watching it. It was unbelievable scenes, and I like to see these low teams getting the big crowds and getting up for these big games. And it was the last minute. They thought they were going through until Declan Rice scored, and then
Jared Bowen.
they kept going, they kept fighting, they kept that one each until the 120 plus second minute. And guess what happened? Jared Bowen slogged one in. Yeah, they were
They
holding
missed a
on.
penalty as well. We want to move on to the Chelsea game now. Chelsea v Plymouth.
So Chelsea v Plymouth. Plymouth scored early on. It was a great goal. Azpilicueta's finish was superb. We chop into the keeper's legs, and the second finish was just a cut back for Alonso. Went on extra time. Brilliant goal. But Plymouth got a penalty, and it was a great save from Kepa because he has been getting a lot of hate recently. I think they should start him over Mendy.
Nah.
I think that's a bit stupid, but I
maybe for pens, but I think
don't think he's good.
I think it's all these small clubs in the FA Cup are competing against the Prem teams, but the Prem teams just outdo them with stamina. It's just
So
it's sad,
we're going to go on to Palace, Hartlepool wasn't like getting there. Palace with their Patrick Vieira and that. Gui scored 4 minutes in, and then who was it? 22 minutes inside. It
Michael
was
Elise.
touch. It was a great touch from him and slotted it in. Palace won 2-0 in that game, and that was brilliant from them, to be honest. So what do you think about Frank Lampard making his first win, beating Brentford 4-1? But I also want to talk about the transfer budget once the transfer market once they came in. So they've signed Dele Alli. They've also got Nathan Patterson from Rangers. I don't think he will start, but there was Godfrey got injured and he had to come off, so that will be sad for Lampard's new era, you want to call it. But I also want to say, when they signed Dele Alli, do you think he's going to be as good as he was at Spurs?
No. Well, at the end, Dele Alli youngster, way better than any youngster in the Prem right now. I also want to talk about that controversial Ivan Toney when he was on holiday. He said F Brentford. It was taken totally out of whatever it's called. Basically, he meant F the Fords in Brent. Basically, Brent's a city, and he said F the Fords, like the car shop. So I don't know why he done it, because it's obviously going to sound like that, but in a chat with the manager, I think he's good back on good terms.
So what did happen? Yerry Mina with a great solid header scored. With Charleston slid one in, it was a good goal, and then it got Ivan Toney got a penalty. It was lovely taken away, wasn't it, Jamie?
Aye, it was. It's just Everton have completely outdone them. It's just.
And Townsend again getting on the score sheet. Hallgate. It was a very good win for Frank Lampard.
I think they can carry that on to the Prem. Don't we move on to the City game?
Yes, I think it was consistent.
Fulham scores in the early on, but then Man City are just too
so
good.
Fulham scored. It was a great goal from Fabio
Man
Carvalho.
City just turn around 4-1, just like that. It's too easy.
I'm going to be honest, but Fulham were just trying to break. Just trying to hit them on the counter. It worked, but you know, Fulham scored 13 goals more than any club in England.
I was just about to talk about that. In the Championship, they scored, I think it was something like 20 something goals in 3 games, which broke a Championship record. That was good by them. I thought they would have been competing a lot against these big clubs, but I guess Championship, Prem,
it's
big
different.
difference.
It's a big difference. So we are now going to move on to we're going to talk about Wolves Norwich, and pretty scrappy. It was a 1-0 win.
I think Norwich have had some good form in the past games, but talking about staying up in the Prem, I don't think they have enough squad depth. I think it's just a few players, and that's him.
It was a Scotsman that scored, Kenny McLean. We did like to see Billy Gilmore get back in the team sheet. That was very vital for the lads. And I really thought Wolves would debate them. I thought with their Podence and Raul Jimenez, I thought he's coming back, but no, Norwich really surprised them. What do you think, Jim?
It was a good solid win by Norwich against Wolves, which I think Wolves have just been kind of there. I've not really noticed Wolves anywhere. They've just been kind of sitting mid-table, not really making the headlines or whatever.
So now, going to talk about Spurs. Spurs Brighton, it was a great goal opening by Harry Kane. And then he scored a double, but Solly March with the own goal was a bit unlucky there, and Kane scored. But yes, the Super. I think Brighton should have let him go.
The jail man.
They did want 50 odd million for it. I don't think they're getting that now after what's happened in that.
Yeah.
But you never know, but just don't see it happening. Do you? 50 million for a player?
No. I think that sums up most of the good FA Cup games, so I think we're going to move on to our next point now. So yeah.
Sounds good.
Alright, we're going to be moving on to our next point. In the Premier League, the table, there's not been any fixtures in the weekend, so can't really talk about that. It's just been FA Cup, so going to talk about the relegation battle. It's getting really interesting down there. We've got in 20th, we've got Burnley, in 19th Newcastle, 18th Watford, and in 17th Norwich. Norwich doing really good to escape because they had a horrible start to the season in 20th, rock bottom, going in a loss.
Signed in Dean Smith, and it's going uphill, but it's...
Sargent's been doing good as well.
Sargent, 2 good goals, came back. He was getting a lot of hate, and I think that's brilliant from him.
Yeah, but I think Norwich don't have enough squad depth to stay up. I think if a couple of players get injured, that's them right back down at rock bottom, in my opinion.
Also, what I say about we're going to go on to Burnley's transfer, Wout Weghorst, the 6'3" striker.
They've had to get him. They've sold Chris Wood to Newcastle.
We're going to that in a second. So, what do you think about the business? Do you think they could have done better for considering that?
Yeah, Weghorst, I think he's had a couple weeks good form at points in the season, but I don't think he's that clinical striker. I think it's just I think Burnley is a team that have always, I think they've just been a Prem team. They've got a good record of staying up. They're just that team that's
doesn't
really
look like it this season.
Doesn't look like it. They have got 2 games in hand, but I think they'll go down in either 18th or 19th.
Right, now we're going to go to Newcastle.
The money men. They've signed Bruno Guimaraes for 40 odd million. That's a fantastic signing.
Do you think he's worth 40 odd million? Do you think that's a bargain?
I've heard really good things about him. They've also signed Chris Wood, as we just mentioned.
I don't think he was worth the price. You know, 8 million about. I don't think he was worth that.
I think they could have maybe had a better.
And a Trippier, I think that was fine.
Trippier was good. A really good signing by them.
And Burnley was late. I still don't think with the money they've got, I think they could sign a lot better players. Bruno Guimaraes is good.
I think it was a panic signing. Because they didn't really know what to do with the centre back. They didn't have a solid plan. I think going for someone like Tyrone Mings, even though he would be more, but it's an investment. I feel like Newcastle were just trying to panic buy. They're planning for the short term right now, just to stay up this season. Then I think they can go in for some long term investments like Tyrone Mings, Eric Konsa.
So now we're on to Watford. I don't think they've not really done anything in the slow transfer window, so we can move on. Norwich not really anything either. We're going to move on to Leeds. Leeds done nothing. They've kept Rafinha, though that was vital.
Yes, I think
that's like a new signing.
I think they could have signed a midfielder because they're playing Forshaw in that midfield, and it's not very strong. So I think, but the Newcastle the Leeds owners aren't the wealthiest. Definitely not as wealthy as Newcastle's anyways. So they don't have much to spend. So if they did spend money on a midfielder and it didn't work out, they'd be in a bad spot for money. So I think Leeds can stay up with them. If they stay up this season, I think they'll stay in the Prem for a decent amount of time.
Palace keeping Sam Gallagher on loan again. Do you think Chelsea could recall him and maybe in the future start for them?
Yeah, I think we need to see more of him. He had a brilliant form, 45 weeks. But I think that form, when it returns to, if he returns to Chelsea now, it could be it could just flop. It might be like a Jesse Lingard where he was good for a couple of weeks, or like a let me think.
Now we're going to move on to Aston Villa.
Ben Rama or Antonio.
Aston Villa, this was brilliant. I think Stevie Gerrard coming in, great appointment.
Yeah, he's doing good.
And I think he left Rangers at the right time. And look at the signing he's made.
Yeah, they're doing decent in the transfer window, and in their games have shown. A couple of weeks ago, I watched that match against Man United. I think Bundia from Norwich looked very promising. He's making the dozen runs, a bit like Grealish at Villa. He's not really getting the score sheet, but he's still doing good.
And I also think, what about Dini? That was a brilliant left back.
Coutinho as well.
Yeah, that is
Coutinho with a goal and an assist in his debut, and it's just brilliant.
That was excellent from coming on as well, and he really turned that game on its head for team. So now we're going to move on to Leicester. Done nothing. I think Brendan Rodgers should get sacked. After that 4-1 loss against Nottingham Forest, he's not good enough. They're 10th place, they're not getting the results they want. Get him out.
Yes. I think moving on, that's just not good. We're going to talk about the top 6. Man City cruising in first. We've got second, we've got Chelsea. Third, Liverpool. Fourth, Man United. Man United, they need to get better performances, because Arsenal, likes of Arsenal, Tottenham have got a couple of games in hand still. I think they could push on into that top spot. And West Ham can also push for it as well. So it's a race for fourth out there. I think the top 3 is kind of Man City have won it, I think, and Liverpool and Chelsea kind of go.
No, you know what? I still think, because Man City stepped up points. So if Liverpool win their game in hand, it's 9 points, and if they beat Man City, it's 6 points. That's pretty close. I
think it is, but I think Man City just have too much depth. And see if Liverpool have been doing really well without Mane and Salah. Diego Jota stepping in, scoring a lot of goals.
And Diaz coming in, very controversial decision. But do you think Pep Guardiola will stay for Man City for longer?
I think he's got a good squad. He's not really in danger. He's got loads of money. He's basically they're going to stay at the top, around the top, for years to come. So I think they're in a good spot right now. So
it's good. And what about Jurgen Klopp? Do you think he could leave the club soon?
I think Gerrard's gagging for that job.
I think he could get it.
I think Jurgen Klopp will keep going, because he's a really good manager. But when he eventually wants to, retire or move on to a different league, maybe Steven Gerrard, if he keeps putting in the good performances in the Prem, he can step up.
Yep. So that's just about it. Our third point ended. So
move on to our next point. Alright, we're going to round up on the transfer rumours. And the done deals from all over the world. It's been a good January transfer window. Barca, as I mentioned earlier, and for 3 good players: Adama, Aubameyang, Ferran Torres. It's been a really good transfer window for them, in my opinion. I think the big signings have kind of been Vlahovic. That is a massive deal.
I really think, I don't know, Arsenal and Tottenham been begging for players, but not actually went full on out. They've been begging for players, but they need to fight harder to get some players.
I've heard Tottenham offered Adama 100-something thousand wages. He joined Barca 15,000 a week. It just shows Tottenham are drunk.
He's loyal.
So Vlahovic, 80 million around. I think it was a good signing for Juve, because
I really think Man City obviously signing Alvarez, but I think Man City could have signed Vlahovic. That would have given them their central striker. I think they really would have improved with Vlahovic in the squad.
I think Vlahovic, he can't really flop at Juve, because he was playing in Fiorentina, doing really well. That's in the Serie A, so it's the same style of play. And it's like it should just be that central striker again, just making runs from behind, scoring, holding it up, doing everything. And I think Juve could push on. AC Milan, Napoli are fighting for AC Milan, Napoli, Inter Milan.
Yeah, but I also think that What do you think about, who do you think will be, like, Arsenal fighting for players? Who do you think they will actually get?
They've not really got good depth for money signings. I don't really.
Let's say, who's their backup centre backs?
Yeah.
So they've got Gabriel, Ben
White.
Tommy Asu's versatile.
Yeah, Tommy Asu. I think Tommy Asu is really,
He's
really
brilliant.
good.
He's been brilliant in right back position. He's really good.
We've also got. I think some clubs just don't know how to spend money in the transfer window, including my club Barca and all that. It's like the transfer window sometimes. You don't really want to spend that big amount of money on players. You kind of want to do what Ajax, the likes of Dortmund, Benfica do. They spend low on academy players. Get academy players through. They push them up and sell for high. Look at Ajax. They got De Ligt, De Jong and Van de Beek. They've still got Tadic.
So now I think we could maybe round this point up and season the next point.
Yeah.
So next point, we're going to move on to the SPFL. So I just want to start off with Celtic signings. They've brought in a lot of Japanese players, but they're taking over.
Yeah, it's kind of like a gamble. They bought Hatate. They've bought
4 million.
Oh, who's the other players they've bought?
Dazen, Maeda and Aguchi. I don't think
he's not been.
Kyogo, brilliant. I think Kyogo, I don't know about Maeda yet, but Hatate and Kyogo was very promising, and I think they're going to be like Anjoa, but don't know if they'll sign. So I really think Cameron Carter-Vickers, Jota, Kyogo and Hatate, maybe 2 or 3 year time, they'll get a lot of money out of them.
Yeah, so I think the Old Firm, it was a good display by Celtic, 3-0. Rangers
terrible from Rangers, but they did bounce back and they beat Heart and Midlothian 5-0. And Manelo's getting in, Aaron Ramsey getting a little sniff, so that's good.
And then we've also got Hatate with that goal early on.
2 goals, brilliant.
Yes,
sensational.
He's kind of volleyed it. It's kind of scuffed a wee bit, I would say.
Alan McGregor though, terrible performances. And they drew 3-3 with Ross County. Can't be doing that. And Celtic point by a point, but Motherwell 4th. I really want to say this because Motherwell's 4th. Hibs 1 point behind them. Dundee United 3 points behind them, and Motherwell got a crucial game against Dundee United, which Tony Watt left for, and I think that's left Motherwell stranded. They've not got any results after this break, and because they were on a bit of a run. So I think if Dundee United beat Motherwell might not get top 6.
I think the top 3 is done. I think Celtic, Rangers, Hearts 10 points clear of Motherwell.
But who will get that other Europa League spot in 4th?
I think Aberdeen could push through.
Nah, I don't think so. They lost 2-1 to Livingston. I don't think. But you see at the bottom, it's Dundee and St Johnstone on their own. Ross County is 7 points ahead of St Johnstone and 8 points ahead of Dundee. That's terrible.
St Johnstone and Dundee both have a game in hand. That's what
that would make it to about 6 points. And I think that Ross County, they're starting to pick up points with big Alfie Malcolm.
Yeah, I think that second Champions League spot, the qualification spot, whereas last season it was just Champions League first and there was nothing for second.
Yeah.
So I think that would be good for them.
I think Motherwell, they really need to win. I think Hibs behind them, Hibs are done shocking after Sean Maloney's came in. Not done well, not picked up points. Won their first 2 games against Aberdeen and Dundee United. The rest have lost. They beat Cove in the cup, but still that's disgraceful.
Yeah, I think we're going to
lost to St Mirren.
Yeah.
I think we're going to round that up there.
Yeah, I think we're going to round it up there. On to
so last point, we're going to round up Champions League and
Europa
League. So first, we're going to start with Champions League. First game.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of promising games. There's PSG, Real Madrid. I think that's happening the 15th of February, if I'm not mistaken. We've got.
But first of all, we've got to talk Liverpool v Inter.
Yeah, Liverpool v Inter. I think this. A lot of people are predicting Inter to do a underdog, but I think Liverpool will walk this one 3-1 in aggregate. I think over.
Yeah, because Salah and Mane will be back for the game after the AFCON final, which is happening right now. Yeah. So yeah, but I also think Bayern Munich will smash Red Bull Salzburg.
Yeah, that's just a walkthrough. You don't even need to talk about that.
You don't even need to talk about that.
Man United, Bayern are just brilliant.
Just amazing from
outclass everyone.
And I want to say something. Barcelona, Napoli. I think it's a disgrace. I know it's your club, but I think it's a disgrace that they are getting the Europa League. How are they not getting Champions League? They should be fighting for that spot.
I know. Europa League, but Barca need to now push on win this. If they get by Napoli, I think they've got a decent route. They also might be playing Dortmund, but I think apart from that might be some of their only real threats to Barca. They've also got Sevilla. Sevilla are probably the biggest threat to Barca in my opinion.
And they've got Dynamo Zagreb, which you should win. But I really want to talk about Rangers Borussia Dortmund. I think Rangers could win on aggregate. I genuinely think the first at Borussia, I think it'll be a draw. Yeah. In the second half, I think Rangers could do it. People think I'm stupid for this, but I really think it could happen.
Dortmund not on good form right now. 5-2 to Leverkusen, and that match. Wirtz scored a goal. He's a very promising youngster. I think a lot of big clubs could snap up on him.
I know I've already said this, but Brendan Rodgers out. Their body playing Randers FC. Who are they? Leicester playing Randers FC. Who are they? Yeah. Who are they, Jamie?
Yeah, but back to Champions League. What do you think about the PSG Real Madrid game?
I think it's tight, but I really think Real Madrid will win the game. I know they're on bad form right now. And they're on really, really bad form.
I think PSG will come away with it because they're just they're strong in the UCL. I think a Messi Masterclass is coming. Messi Masterclass.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I strongly believe, right, that Sporting could beat Man City. I know you say that.
Man City will smash
the Sporting boys. I think they've got it in their head. I think their team is just all got it sorted out, and I think they will win.
Nah, because I think Man City are just too good for them. I don't think Man City will even get to the semis. I don't really believe in Man City, but it's a walkthrough for Sporting Lisbon. It's just too easy for Man City. Now some of the other games.
Celtic, Bodo Glimt. I really don't know about that, but we've also need to talk about Chelsea, Lille.
Basically, it was a redraw. The Lille fans maybe got a bit of hope in them when the redraw. It was Chelsea v Lille in the first draw, then it got redrawn to some stupid thing. Chelsea Lille again, so the Lille fans must have been.
Villarreal, Juventus, Vlahovic. Do you think he'll score?
I'm not sure. It depends kind of what type of game. Depends what type of game Villarreal play. Because I think they might play defensive. They're last year's Europa League winners. So fair play to them. But I think Vlahovic will possibly get in the score sheet.
And Atletico Madrid, Man United. I strongly believe this is the best game of the Champions League.
Nonsense. PSG Real Madrid.
Anyway,
Man U do have potential to be the best game.
Who do you think will win that?
I don't like Man U. I don't think they're playing well, but I think it's Cristiano Ronaldo v Atletico Madrid. Let's think in the past fixtures.
But can I tell you,
the Champions League final.
I think if they'll think I'm stupid for this, I think they can get to the semi-final. Yes. I think they can go far, and that's just about us. Just about finishing.
Sebastian Haller, absolutely phenomenal in the Champions League. He's not really proved himself in the Eredivisie, but I think he's been really good in the Champions League. You've got anything else we want to talk about?
No, and I think that's us going around our first ever video of the podcast. So thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.